Have you ever felt like you are constantly putting others before yourself, only to end up drained and unfulfilled? Do you struggle with saying no, even when saying yes costs you your peace of mind? Are you tired of living according to everyone else's expectations while neglecting your own needs and dreams? The ancient wisdom of Stoicism offers a powerful solution, and today I will share with you how to make yourself your only priority without guilt or apology. This isn't about selfishness. It's about wisdom, inner strength, and living authentically. By the end of this video, you'll have practical tools to reclaim your life. Set healthy boundaries and find true freedom that comes only from putting yourself first. Stay with me until the end, because each lesson builds on the previous one, creating a complete framework for transformation. And if this resonates with you so far, make sure to subscribe to the channel right now and hit the notification bell so you never miss future wisdom that could change your life. Let's begin this journey together. Lesson number 1: define your value before the world defines it for you. Take a moment and reflect. How many times have you changed your opinion, your clothes, your tone of voice just to be accepted? How often have you silenced yourself, hidden your true thoughts, or completely erased who you are just to avoid displeasing someone else? You were not born to be a reflection of other people's expectations. In Stoic philosophy, self-knowledge is your fortress. Marcus Aurelius wrote daily about who he was, what he believed in, and what he would not tolerate. Why? Because he understood a profound truth. If you don't define yourself, the world will shape you according to its needs. And the world, by default, is not gentle. It demands, it labels, it consumes. This lesson is simple in theory but transformative in practice. You must decide who you are before someone else decides for you. Create your personal value declaration right now. Take a piece of paper and write 3 sentences that answer these questions. What is non-negotiable for me? What are the 3 values I respect most? Who am I when no one is watching? For example, I am a person who values truth above comfort. I choose to act with courage even when afraid. I define myself not by status but by purpose. Read these words aloud. Read them as if you are reaffirming them to the universe, because you are. Throughout your day, observe your silent concessions. Notice when you surrender your will out of fear of rejection. How many times do you adapt too much just to avoid seeming difficult? Simply noting this gives you clarity about how much you've been living for external approval. Before making any decision today, ask yourself, does this represent who I truly am? If the answer is no, reconsider. Because if it's not aligned with your true self, it's merely a performance. Stoicism reminds us that your value doesn't lie in the applause you receive, but in the consistency you maintain. If you live to please others, you will live exhausted. But if you live authentically, you will attract genuine respect, even if it takes time. If this first lesson gave you a reality check, the next one will be liberating. Because defining yourself is only the first step. Learning to say no is the second and perhaps the most powerful one of all. After all, those who know their own value don't sell themselves short. And saying no is one of the greatest acts of self-love anyone can give themselves. Lesson number 2, your no is more sacred than others' yes. Have you ever said yes when you wanted to say no? Perhaps out of fear of hurting someone, maybe to keep the peace or to avoid seeming selfish. But here is the naked truth. Every time you say yes to others while denying yourself, you move further away from your essence. Stoicism teaches that freedom begins when we learn to set boundaries. Epictetus said, "He who does not govern himself will always be governed by others." And your no is your first act of self-governance. Make a list of situations where you most often yield. Stop and write down when you find it most difficult to say no. With which people does this happen frequently? This list will show you where you are losing yourself. Use a firm but gentle no. You don't need to be aggressive to stand your ground. Start practicing phrases like, I understand, but at this moment I cannot. I prefer not to commit to this right now. This doesn't align with what I want at the moment. Firmness, when coming from truth, is more powerful than 1,000 justifications. Remember, saying no is saying yes to yourself. Every time you refuse something that hurts you, overburdens you, or drains you, you are choosing yourself. And if you don't choose yourself, who will? You need to give yourself permission. Permission to rest, to decline invitations, to prioritize your peace. Because no one will set limits for you. If you don't learn to say no, the world will continue taking everything you have, and then demand more. Speaking of boundaries, it's time to establish one of the most important ones, the boundary with your time. In Lesson 3, you'll learn one of the most powerful ideas in modern Stoicism. Your time is your temple, and no one enters with dirty shoes. But before we continue, if you're finding value in this journey, please subscribe to the channel now. Your support helps this content reach more people who need to hear these life-changing principles. Hit the like button too. It tells YouTube that this wisdom matters and should be shared more widely. Lesson number 3, your time is your temple. Guard it fiercely. Would you lend your home to someone who enters without knocking, drops everything, dirties the floor, and even complains about the furniture? Probably not. Yet this is exactly what many people do with your time. They invade, they mess up, they delay, they demand, they drain, and you allow it. Stoicism reminds us that time is our most valuable resource. You can't save it, you can't recover it. And sadly, most people only realize this when they've already lost too much. Seneca said, "Life is long enough if you know how to use it." So let's get straight to the point. You need to treat your time as a sacred temple, protected, closed to disorder. Create an inviolable schedule just for yourself. Choose a moment of the day, even just 30 minutes, and declare, "This time is only mine." No phone, no social media, no external demands. Use it to reflect, read, walk, breathe, organize your mind. If you don't reserve time for yourself, the world will occupy every space with what it wants from you. Apply the rule of 3 Stoic filters when someone asks for something. Ask yourself, is this urgent? Is this important to me? Can this be delegated or postponed? If the answer is no to 2 of these, refuse with gentleness and firmness. Stop being accessible all the time. Being a reliable person doesn't mean being available 24 hours a day. People who respect your time respect you. Configure notifications, create response times, and if someone complains, that only reinforces that your decision was correct. Your time is the ground where your life is built. If you let anyone enter, move things around, and damage it, it's not the world that's messing you up. It's you who didn't put locks on the door. In the next lesson, we'll move to an even deeper point. You'll learn not to outsource your emotional well-being, because as long as you depend on others to feel good, you'll be chained to their moods. It's strong, it's direct, and it could be the turning point in your emotional autonomy. Take a deep breath. What comes next will move you in a good way. Lesson number 4, never outsource your emotional well-being. Have you noticed how we put our happiness in other people's hands? A compliment lifts us up, criticism destroys us, silence eats away at us. But here is a hard yet liberating truth. As long as your emotions depend on other people's attitudes, you will be their prisoner. Stoicism teaches that it is not what happens that affects us, but the judgment we make about what happens. As Epictetus said, the source of your peace cannot be someone whose mood changes every day. Your serenity must come from within. Identify who you still emotionally depend on. Ask yourself, who has the power to devastate me with just one word? Why do I still expect something from this person? This recognition isn't about cutting connections. It's about cutting the cords that bind you from within. Practice the Stoic interval. The next time something hits you emotionally, wait 10 seconds before reacting. Breathe, observe, question, is this really about me? Or is it a frustrated expectation, a projection, or something outside my control? This small interval is where your freedom lives. Create a daily internal reinforcement ritual. Every morning when you wake up, repeat to yourself, I am responsible for my emotions. I choose what affects me. I do not give my heart to unstable hands. Simple, powerful, transformative. You cannot control people or their attitudes, but you can control what you do with what they do. And when you learn to protect yourself internally, the world can scream out there, but in here, peace remains intact. In the next lesson, we'll touch on a point that seems contradictory but is revolutionary. You'll discover why reducing can be the fastest path to elevating your life. Fewer obligations, fewer distractions, less weight, more focus, more presence, more freedom. Are you ready for this? Lesson 5 is coming, and it's powerful. Lesson number 5. Reduce to elevate your life. Most people believe that living well means accumulating more tasks, more commitments, more goals, more people, more content, but the truth is, the more you carry, the less you advance. Stoicism reminds us, wealth consists much more in the reduction of desires than in the increase of possessions, as Marcus Aurelius taught. And this applies to everything: schedule, mind, relationships, objectives. Reducing isn't losing, it's clarifying. It's making space for what truly matters. Only when you eliminate the unnecessary can you see the essential. Do a mental and emotional cleansing. Take paper and note which commitments are draining me and not taking me anywhere. Which people only take up space but don't add anything. Which habits are distracting me from who I want to become? Answer with brutal honesty, and then eliminate at least one item from each category today. Adopt the less but better rule. Every time you add something new to your life, a task, a goal, a relationship, ask, does this elevate my energy or drain my peace? Am I adding this because it's necessary or just out of impulse? Only continue if it's a yes with purpose. Experience silence and emptiness for 10 minutes every day. Take 10 minutes to do absolutely nothing. No tasks, no distractions, just you, silence, and the now. It may seem useless, but it's in this space that the mind breathes and the soul organizes itself. Reducing is an act of courage because it requires detachment, and detachment is the first step toward freedom. You don't need more things. You need more clarity, and for that, you need to make space. Like a cup that can only be filled if it's empty. In the next lesson, we'll shift the focus to something even more physical, more direct, more visible. You'll understand why caring for your body is a stoic act and not just an aesthetic matter. It's not vanity, it's discipline. It's respect for yourself. Lesson 6 is coming, and it will change your relationship with your body. Lesson number 6. Treat your body as a warrior treats their armor. You may have the strongest mind in the world, but if your body is weak, neglected, without energy, you won't go far. The Stoics didn't despise the body. On the contrary, they saw it as an essential tool for action, presence, and resistance. The body was the vehicle of virtue, discipline, and philosophical practice in the real world. Epictetus, who was physically disabled, said, "You don't control the body you received, but you control how you treat it." In other words, it's not about appearance, it's about preparedness. Taking care of your body is a stoic act of personal responsibility. Respect your rhythm but abandon excuses. I don't have time, I don't like the gym, I'm tired. This doesn't change the fact. An idle body weakens the mind. Choose any activity, any at all, that moves your body every day, even if just for 15 minutes. Walking in silence is already a Stoic act of presence. Transform the act of eating into a ritual of respect. Don't eat out of anxiety. Don't eat as a distraction. Every meal is a choice to nourish or intoxicate. Ask yourself, does this strengthen me or sabotage me? The answer will teach you more about self-control than 1,000 books. Establish a sleep commitment as if it were a sacred pact. The Stoic mind needs rest to function well. Sleeping well isn't a luxury, it's a strategy. Set a fixed time to sleep and protect your sleep as if it were a meeting with an emperor, non-negotiable, unbreakable. You don't need a perfect body, you need a functional, clean, prepared body, strong enough to sustain a lucid mind. Because without a body, virtue doesn't act, courage doesn't fight, reason doesn't walk. Now that body and mind are beginning to align, it's time to face one of the greatest human fears and transform it into strength, solitude. In Lesson 7, you'll understand why being alone can be your greatest ally in the Stoic journey. It's in silence that you truly hear yourself. It's in solitude that clarity is born. Come with me to the next lesson, it could change everything. Lesson number 7. Make solitude your ally, not your fear. Most people run from solitude as if it were a punishment. They distract themselves, surround themselves with voices, immerse themselves in noise because they fear hearing what silence might say. But the Stoics saw solitude as a portal, a space where the mind reveals itself, where the soul strengthens, where truth appears naked, unfiltered. Seneca said, "He who is at peace with himself lives well even when alone." Solitude isn't absence, it's deep presence of self. Schedule a time of absolute silence without distraction. Begin with 10 minutes without cell phone, without music, without social networks. Just you. Sit, breathe, observe your thoughts without judging. It's uncomfortable at first, but that's where clarity is born. Write a letter to yourself. Put on paper what you're feeling, thinking, living. Speak to yourself as you would speak to someone you love. This practice connects you with your essence and dissolves the fear of being alone. Transform solitude into a moment of creation. Do something alone that feeds your soul. Draw, write, walk, pray, not out of obligation but out of connection. The more you strengthen yourself alone, the less you depend on others to feel whole. True freedom is born when you no longer fear your own company, when silence ceases to be a discomfort and becomes a refuge. Because one who has learned to be well alone never again begs for company. Lesson number 8. Align your actions with your core values. How many of your daily decisions actually reflect what you claim to value most? In our chaotic world, the gap between what we say matters and how we spend our time grows wider each day. The Stoics believe that virtue isn't just a concept to discuss but a practice to embody. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be." B1. This principle applies to everything you claim to prioritize. Make a 2-column list. In the first column, write the 5 values you claim are most important to you, perhaps family, health, growth, integrity, purpose. In the second column, honestly record how many hours you dedicated to each this past week. The disparity may shock you. Realign your calendar with your claimed priorities. Look at your schedule for next week. Does the allocation of your time reflect what you say matters most? If not, make at least 3 changes that bring your schedule into alignment with your stated values. Practice value-based decision-making. Before committing to any new responsibility, ask yourself, does this support or undermine my core values? The alignment between actions and values creates what the Stoics called inner harmony, the foundation of all peace. Examine the source of your values regularly. Some values we inherit passively from culture, family, or peer pressure. Ask yourself, is this truly my value, or am I carrying someone else's idea of what should matter? True priority setting begins with authentic values, not borrowed ones. Remember, what you consistently do reveals what you truly value, regardless of what you claim. By closing the gap between stated values and daily actions, you become whole, undivided, integral. And that internal consistency is the essence of Stoic wisdom. In our next lesson, we'll explore how to face life's inevitable hardships not just with resilience, but with a transformative perspective that turns obstacles into opportunities. Lesson number 9. Transform adversity into growth through Stoic resilience. When life hits you with disappointment, rejection, or loss, what's your first reaction? Most people ask, why is this happening to me? The Stoic asks instead, what is this teaching me? The ancient Stoics didn't just endure hardship, they used it as their primary classroom. As Epictetus, who was born a slave and lived with disability, taught it's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters. Start keeping an adversity journal. When something difficult occurs, write down 3 questions. What part of this can I control? What virtue can I practice in this situation? How might I view this differently 5 years from now? This simple practice transforms reactive suffering into reflective growth. Apply the principle of amor fati, the love of fate. This doesn't mean passive acceptance, but active embrace. Next time something challenging happens, try saying, "This is happening exactly as it should for my growth. I welcome this obstacle as my teacher." Watch how this subtle shift changes your relationship with difficulty. Practice negative visualization daily. Spend 3 minutes each morning contemplating what could go wrong in your day. Not with anxiety, but with preparation. How would you respond with dignity? This ancient practice, called premeditatio malorum, builds emotional readiness for whatever comes. Remember that comfort creates weakness, while challenges create strength. The Stoics understood that an easy life creates fragile humans. Next time you face resistance, remind yourself, this is making me stronger, more adaptable, more wise. This is exactly what I need. Look for evidence of post-traumatic growth in your life. Reflect on past hardships that initially seemed unbearable, but ultimately made you more compassionate, resilient, or wise. This builds confidence that current struggles will similarly transform you. In our final lesson, we'll bring everything together by exploring how to create a daily practice that reinforces these principles and gradually transforms your entire approach to life. Lesson number 10. Create your daily Stoic practice for lasting transformation. Knowledge without practice remains merely theoretical. The Stoics weren't philosophers who simply thought about wisdom, they lived it through daily disciplines. As Musonius Rufus, the teacher of Epictetus, said, we learn not for the school but for life. Establish a morning reflection ritual. Before looking at your phone or engaging with the world, spend 5 minutes in silence asking yourself, what virtues will I focus on today? What potential challenges might I face? How can I respond with wisdom rather than reaction? This frames your entire day with intention. Create a midday pause practice. Set an alarm for noon each day. When it rings, stop whatever you're doing for just 1 minute. Check in with yourself. Has my focus drifted from what matters? Am I acting in alignment with my values? Am I getting lost in things I cannot control? This brief reset can redirect your entire afternoon. Develop an evening review routine. Before sleep, ask yourself 3 questions. What did I do well today? Where did I fall short? What will I do differently tomorrow? This practice, which Seneca called daily self-examination, builds self-awareness and continuous improvement. Select a Stoic passage to carry with you. Choose a single quote that resonates deeply and write it on a small card you keep in your pocket or as a note on your phone. Read it at least 3 times throughout your day, letting its wisdom sink deeper each time. practice one deliberate discomfort weekly. Choose something mildly uncomfortable, cold showers, fasting for a day, walking instead of driving, sleeping without a pillow. These voluntary hardships build the mental muscle to handle involuntary challenges with greater ease. Remember that transformation happens gradually, not overnight. The Stoics understood that character is built through consistent small actions, not dramatic gestures. As Epictetus reminded his students, no great thing is created suddenly. Your commitment to living as your own priority isn't selfishness. It's the foundation upon which you can truly serve others from strength rather than depletion. By putting yourself first in these ways, you become capable of sustainable contribution rather than eventual burnout. Take a deep breath. Carry these lessons with you. And never forget, the world changes when you change, and everything begins with putting yourself first. Thank you for staying until the end. This already says a lot about you. You could have stopped midway, skipped parts, or gone to any other video, but you chose to remain until the end, to absorb, reflect, and above all, seek knowledge to improve your life. In today's world, that is a rare and extremely valuable attitude. Now I want to hear from you. Leave in the comments what impacted you most in this video, or which of these 10 lessons you will apply first in your daily life. And if you found value in these teachings, please subscribe to the channel now and activate the notification bell to stay updated with more wisdom that could transform your life. Until next time, stay strong, stay present, and remember, you are your only priority.